Broncos country. It's AFC Championship on the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. We're here to get you all the ins and outs, what's going to happen, what we should be looking for, what we should expect in a win versus the Patriots to move on to the Super Bowl. Let's get this party started AFC Championship style. STIDDY CITY! Welcome, everybody, to the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. It's a pregame show for the AFC Championship. My name is Keith Brugman. Got a pretty full panel up here today. I'll welcome in the guy to my right because the other guy's been on the podcast all week long. Man, you've seen him too much. No, I'm just kidding, Jody. But no, hello to Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'm excited. Excited for all of Broncos country. I'm excited for our wonderful posse. I'm excited for my fellow horsemen. This is a big game today. Fern pissed off at me. You live on the East Coast like me. She is really hammering us with ice here in Maryland. Snow a little north of me. Everybody be safe out there. Winter is here across this country, United States, wherever you are. Unless you're in Hawaii like Patrick, you're probably getting a taste of winter. So be safe. Enjoy the game, which is in about an hour, a little over an hour from now, and
yes.
Let's go. It's here, and I just our good friend Michael Ronquillo chatted earlier. He can't be here, but he wanted to say good morning, good afternoon to us all, and wanted to say hello to him too. And hope you get to see the Broncos come away with a victory. Michael Ronquillo, everybody's friend, and definitely our friend.
Yes, absolutely. Michael Ronquillo rooting on the Broncos because he's at work. So, man, he's going to have to live through this a little bit until he gets to Super Bowl Sunday. Rising on Films coming in and saying hello as well. We got Thackeray Williams. I'm going to try to get all the names right now. Let's go Denver Broncos coming in over on Facebook. We had Rising on Films over on YouTube. Looks like I'm really early, he said. No, you're right on time, man. Don't worry about it. We got kicked off. We're ready to go. Roy Osborne's ready to go as well, saying, play that Gretchen Wilson song because I'm all jacked up. Woo. Let's go and get this Broncos, man. Roy Osborne, ready to go, man. Ready to go. He's been ready to go all year. Jody, you've been ready to go all year as well. You've been ready to go all week, like I said, man, doing the circuit Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Saturday nights, Sunday mornings, and he's back here again. I know you're still, man, jacked up, ready to go for this podcast as well as this game.
Yeah, I'm excited. Denver can win this game. They're a better team. I know we're missing Bo Nix, but everyone's going to rally around Stiddy, and we've talked about it multiple times. There are a lot of things he does better than Bo, a lot of things he doesn't do as well as Bo. But Sean Payton is. That's why we're paying Sean Payton the big dollars to, scheme up a plan that fits Stiddy. And I expect in about 4 hours we're headed to San Francisco.
Baby, I love it. I love it, man. Love it that we also have Karen coming in and saying hi all. She's ready for a win, man. We're ready to be celebrating a win after this podcast or after the game. We'll be coming on with a podcast post game, win, lose, or draw, but celebrating that win. I love the confidence, Karen. We talked about a full panel. Man, shooting onto the screen right now, the Rocket Man himself. You know him, you love him. Trevor Salzman. Welcome in, Trevor. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well, Keith. Doing well, Posse. Excited to break down this game today. It's a huge game in my high city. I mean, AFC Championship games. I mean, it just seems like the Broncos always find a way to win, and I'll lead into everything. I know we've got a lot to get into with that. It just seems like Denver knows how to win and take care of business at home, especially with AFC Championship games. Broncos country needs to be excited. You don't get these opportunities all that often. I mean, we've learned that over the years. So I mean, take full advantage of this, and Broncos better be coming out and ready to play because this is a tough matchup. And Patriots they don't play around. That's a well coached team.
Is a well coached team. If we had to rely on history, though, we're 4-0 in Mile High versus the New England Patriots. We're 4-1 all time versus them. One loss in Gillette when Tim Tebow and Tom Brady squared off once upon a time. But that being said, this Mile High City seems like it has, well, something in its back pocket when it comes to AFC Championships teams. STIDDY City, this time, though, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different, and you're going in with your backup quarterback. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the rhetoric, I guess, that's been out there. I just find it amusing. I find it funny that for almost all season long, we had a quarterback that really was nothing special, really was, I don't know, not that good for a lot of analysts out there. The way they talked about this team and Bo Nix, I don't think that we narrowly got hardly any respect through the entire season when it came to Bo Nix. And then, heaven forbid, the guy goes down, and now it's this new rallying cry for the New England Patriots and their fans that, oh, Stiddy was never good enough for the Patriots, and he's not a starting quarterback. Well, guess what? You didn't think Bo Nix was anything to begin with, so what are you crying about now? I just find it hilarious that all of a sudden the narrative is like, oh, Stiddy's not that great. Well, you didn't think Bo Nix was that great, so you got to move on to a different game plan. In my opinion, it's going to be a heck of a game, whether it be Stiddy and the Broncos or whether it would have been Bo Nix and the Broncos. Man, try to stir up a little bit of a bulletin board material, if you will, but I think it's going to be a tough game for this Patriots team. That's what I have to say about that. Jody, you started off right before we went live. You were talking about a couple of people that you were looking to step up as they've come off of IR or came onto this 53-man roster. Talk about that, man.
The big one for me is Wattenberg. He's back. He's your starting center. That's huge because he's going to call out protections, that type of thing. He's been taking snaps from Stiddy all week, so he's ready to go. No Troy Franklin today, but we haven't had him really for 2 weeks. The last week, we didn't have him last week. Elijah Moore brought up. I'd like to see how that goes. Maybe he can catch the ball. I mean, we dropped the ball 5 times last week, so hopefully maybe he can catch the ball. Those are the big ones for me. JL Skinner down. That's kind of a under the radar one, especially for special teams. He's been great on tackles and different things there, so that's kind of a. And then his name's escaping me. The pass rusher from Alabama. He's active today. Q Robinson, he's active today. That's another guy to put in the rotation. And that just makes me think, I think they're going to do what they can. They're going to get after May today and make him either beat you honestly or he's going to make mistakes.
It wraps me right into something Kenny brought up. And Kenny, I'll start off with you and then go over to Trevor. I want to bring this in a couple of different ways. You'll have to kind of merge these thoughts together. Key players in this game, along with, honestly, the way that we attack this football game. Kenny, what's the first player / the way we attack this Patriots team in this AFC Championship? Who's that going to be? How are you utilizing that player?
Gosh, there's a lot, but I'll go to one of the running backs has to step up a little bit for the Broncos with no J.K. Dobbins, and that's going to be R.J. Harvey. He was the rookie running back you brought in. I'm not saying he's got to give you 100 yards on the ground and 50 in the air, but he needs to come up and make a couple 2 to 3 big plays in this game. A big move the chain play for 7 or 8 yards. A nice catch here for 20. He needs to make 3 to 4 big plays that means something in this game. So I want to see that from him, and that's my first game changer in this game. And because like Jody alluded to last week, it looked like Peyton had no confidence in that run game after McLaughlin had that fumble. I want to see move the chain plays from RJ Harvey, and I think we could see 3 to 4 of them, and that's my first guy I'm going to go with as a key player.
Utilization of the running back, utilization of RJ Harvey, a good call. This Patriots team can be stingy when it comes to the run game, but RJ Harvey does bring in a whole other piece when it comes to his pass catching ability. I think the biggest thing that we'll have to be concerned with, and the biggest thing that will be on display when it comes to RJ Harvey, though, is can he do the blocking? I think the blocking is a big piece of this, especially when you have a backup quarterback. So what these running backs are going to be able to do, including RJ Harvey in the pass blocking scheme, is going to be key. I'm going to go down to Trevor, man. What guy should we be watching for? How do you expect him to be schemed up into this game plan for today? Like to hear your 2 thoughts, and then I'll hit the comments and get over to Jody as well.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's who's going to step up and be the number 2 wide receiver. I mean, hasn't gotten talked about enough, but you have one of the brightest young corners on that side of the football for the Patriots, and Christian Gonzalez. I mean, he's going to be covering Cortland Sutton all day. Who is going to step up and be Denver's number 2 wide receiver? We just said Troy Franklin was out for this game, so it's really up to Pat Bryant. Is it Marvin Mims? Who knows? I mean, somebody's got to step up and be that number 2 wide receiver for this team. Yeah. Gosh forbid we have an Evan Ingram game once in a while, but I mean, somebody has to step up and be that other weapon for Stidham. I do think that with Stidham's not being able to have the mobility that Bo has, I do think that you're going to have some sort of a run game today. Successful game plan. I know we talked about Sean Payton does like to run the football. I understand that, but this is a different situation with Stidham a little bit because of his ability or not ability to be mobile. He's much more of a pocket passing quarterback. So I'm not saying that I don't expect Sean Payton to want to sling the ball down the field, but you need somebody else other than Sutton to step up and be that number 2 wide receiver, and you got to have, I think, a much better run game today than you had last weekend, against Buffalo. So it'll be interesting to see what happens today, but that's my biggest question for me is who's going to line up and be that number 2 wide receiver for Stidham today.
I'm not letting you off the hook, though, man. I'm gonna make you give me a name. Who's that number 2 wide receiver going to be, man?
That's a tough one. I'm gonna go Pat Bryant. I think he's got to be your number 2 wide receiver. I mean, I know he just came off that concussion. I get that, but you're really going to need him in this game more than ever. Marvin Mims, we really haven't seen a ton from him so far this season. I mean, he's showed bright spots here and there, but I think Pat Bryant can be that complete wide receiver for this team. I think today he's going to have to go out there and show that, and maybe we see some sort of connection with Stidham and Pat Bryant today. I think Pat Bryant definitely has the ability to be that number 2 wide receiver for this team. He just has to have the opportunity to go out and do it. I think he'll have that opportunity right in front of him today.
Pat Bryant might be looking a little bit more like Romeo Dobbs because it's, at least from what I've heard, he'll be wearing that Guardian cap over the top of his regular helmet as we see him out there today. Different look. We haven't seen a whole lot of Denver Broncos rocking that look, but he's taking care of himself. Good to hear that he came back with basically no symptoms the day after. He was obviously, that would be, Monday after we had that game, or Sunday when we had that, Sunday after we had that game. Yeah, so it was good that he cleared fairly quickly. He's been a full participant. Pat Bryant could be a big key piece. I'll get into my 2 cents here in a second. I might have chosen a little bit different person. Like I said, I wanted to hit the comments, though. We got our good friend Clayton coming in here saying, hey, guys, good to see you, Clayton. Always good to see you out there dropping some comments or some pictures of what's going on in your life. Good to see the life outside of the Broncos sometimes. That'll be happening after we get done with the Super Bowl and put a close on this season. We'll have to figure some things out. And he's saying, as always, reminding me, smash the like button and share, guys. We appreciate it. Anytime you can come in here, give us a thumbs up. Cost you absolutely 0 cents. I'm stealing Kenny's line. Go in there, hit that little emoji, that thumb, that wow, that heart. Maybe you don't like what we're saying. Hit that angry button. I don't care. We appreciate all the love and support. Roy's saying we need to get Ingram to show up. Jody, I go to you though, man. I know you sprinkled in on Evan Ingram, but who is your player that you're watching for the Denver Broncos? How do you expect him to be schemed up today?
You're talking for a number 2?
I'm
actually going to go.
I'm just talking
Sutton.
across the board. We've heard so far.
Sutton.
We got Pat Bryant in the pass game. We got RJ Harvey in the run game. Who are you watching?
Cortland Sutton. I mean, he was bad last week. I said that last night. He had 4 drops. He did have a couple big catches, but he had big drops last week. He's been MIA probably the last 3 weeks. I mean, all the way back probably to the Kansas City game where he dropped back-to-back touchdowns. So this is a game I want to see Sutton like 10 for 150 or something. I want a huge game out of Sutton today.
Do you think the matchup is good? You feel good about, as Trevor was saying, Christian Gonzalez should be, certainly on him the majority of the day. I don't think he follows him all day long. You have to mix up your coverage a little bit. But do you feel good about the matchup he's going up against to go out there and have that type of day, especially after maybe a 3-week drought?
Yeah, I do, because he's a number 1 wide receiver. So I'm not scared of any DB that he's up against. So Christian Gonzalez is a handsy wide receiver, so he's going to, even if Sutton can get PI calls or whatever, I'm fine with that. But he needs to make an impact this game.
I agree. I want to see the impact from Cortland Sutton. I think he does need to be the wide receiver, especially in this situation. Jarrett Stidham stepping into this position, backup quarterback in an AFC Championship game. You gotta be able to help your quarterback out in some ways. I like the idea, and I heard it. You're not looking for the offensive line to block harder than they ever have, or for RJ Harvey to catch the ball better than he ever has, or any of these things. But you can't suffer drops. You can't suffer turnovers. You can't open up those opportunities. You need to be just playing your best inside yourself. And playing your best inside yourself is not dropping 4 passes, right, Jody? So you're absolutely right. There's that opportunity, I think, for Cortland Sutton right there. Keith's coming in and saying, let's go Broncos. Let's see the wide receivers show up. And you were just talking about it, Kenny. It's not very nice across the continental 48, but it might be nice out there in Hawaii. Patrick Wiltsey, Aloha Horseman, O-line protection is key for Stidham. Wattenberg is the key for the offense as well. Man, Patrick, I know you just threw this comment up on the screen, but this was going to be mine. I was going to cheat. I was going to say my key is Luke Wattenberg, Ben Powers, Quinn Miners, Garrett Bowles, Mike McGlinchey. These guys need to have the protection for Jarrett Stidham and potentially the run game. I'm with Jody, though. He was on here last night saying, you know what? Dang it, I've given up. I'm not going to pretend that Sean Payton's going to go out there and run the ball. We've asked for it all season long. Go ahead and let him rip it. In the words of Payton himself. To do that, we're going to have some protection for Jarrett Stidham. And I think, quite honestly, the New England Patriots, their defense, they're going to want to come out. They're going to want to set the tone and set it early. They're going to want to go in there and try to rattle Jarrett Stidham, not give him time, not give him the underneath throws. And I think that you're going to have to give him time to push it down the field a little bit if you're going to open everything up. So for me, this offensive line, that's what I'm watching. The battle is going to be in the trenches. I'm watching this offensive line. I know it's a cheat. I just named 5 guys, guy. I'm really watching this offensive line. I think it is key, and I think that Patrick's right on point, and I'm lockstep with him.
Keith, could I give the posse and my fellow horsemen and yourself a long shot? Because I do have a long shot for here, because it is Jarrett Stidham quarterbacking.
Yeah, we can do long shots as well.
My long shot,
your long shot.
If my best friend, and a lot of our posse members know him, you guys know him. If Kurt Valenti's listening, he likes to call me Long Shot Kenny. My long shot for a player of the game here that's going to have a breakout game, little Jordan Humphrey. And I got a hot take later I'll give out with little Jordan Humphrey, but makes all the sense in the world. Jarrett Stidham and Humphrey playing on the scout team, maybe getting some chemistry throughout the year when little Jordan Humphrey signed off the practice squad from the Giants. Stidham and Humphrey might have a little secret connection, and he might feel very comfortable with little Jordan Humphrey. And we've seen Bo Nix get comfortable with little Jordan Humphrey. Almost had 2 touchdowns. He had that one drop touchdown last week, but almost had 2 touchdowns last week. So watch out for little Jordan Humphrey maybe being the number 2 wide receiver that you're looking for, and maybe a number 1 wide receiver today. Because like Trevor alluded to, Christian Gonzalez is on the other side of the field.
Well, and I was going to say real quick, Keith, before we move on to this, Carlton Davis is also on the other side. It's a really good cornerback. That's the thing. With this Patriots team, they love to sit back in zone, and they are great. Their secondary, that's what makes this defense a good defense, is they are really good in the secondary. I think their linebacking core is well put together. They got Robert Spillane, the guy we talked about this last offseason for the Broncos before they got Drake Greenlaw. So it's really about, like, this Patriots team, they don't blitz a lot. That's the thing. I mean, they're one of the least blitz teams in the league, or down there, I should say. So they don't really blitz a lot. They're going to sit back in zone, though, and they're going to make you pick their secondary out. And so that's the thing. Like, for me, I know I just said Pat Bryant. I'm going to cheat a little bit as well, Keith. I think it actually needs to be a Marvin Mims kind of game today, because here's the thing. Buffalo last weekend, he led this team, this wide receiver core, and you've seen how effective Marvin Mims could be with his speed. With Carlton Davis out there, and you got Christian Gonzalez in the secondary, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for guys like Pat Bryant, his first, real meaningful, game, being asked to do a lot with Troy Franklin being out again. That's asking a lot from him, lining up against a veteran like Carlton Davis. So I think Marvin Mims needs to be that key X factor, I think, for me in this game, and really needs to show up and show out. You've seen what a speed guy like Marvin Mims can do once you feed him the ball. Once he figures out his route tree, I would watch for Marvin Mims to be that guy today. And I think we talked about running the football. I do think you need to keep the defense honest, but I don't think it needs to be a run-heavy game today anyway. This Patriots secondary, as good as they are much worse against the pass than they are against the run. I would try to throw the ball around as much as you possibly can and spread the ball around, and I would have no problem doing that. And also, they don't really have much of a pass rusher. I mean, who's their number 1 pass rusher? Maybe Harold Landry. That's probably the only guy they really got.
And he's out.
And so you're not really having to worry about that as much, I would say. So just kind of throwing some extra, keys into this matchup today.
Yeah, and I'll just piggyback on that, and I'll go back over to Jody. Maybe he can give us a breakout, a surprise player to maybe watch in this game. But that's part of the reason that I think that you have to give the protection to Jarrett Stidham, because if you look at a guy like Marvin Mims, yeah, you can use him in the screen game and you can throw to the boundary. But if you're really utilizing that route tree like you're talking about, if you're really talking about what he was able to do versus the Buffalo Bills, or at least what a lot of us loved, was his ability to stretch the field and get beyond the linebacker, right? So you just need to give him a little bit more time. You're right. They don't necessarily pass rush, but they play that box very well. You got to get beyond the box in order to really take advantage. Even if they do have corners, their linebackers aren't covering as well downfield, and there's going to be gaps, and you got to see those gaps in that zone. I think Jarrett Stidham can do it. Jody? Oh, go ahead, man.
No, real quick bit. I mean, Stidham, this is one of the good, one of the better, I think advantages you have with Stidham being your quarterback is I think he has a stronger arm than Bo Nix. Why not send Marvin Mims downfield a couple times, the 9 route? I wouldn't be surprised if Peyton does that with Stidham's arm and his ability to get Marvin Mims the ball. I'm not saying Bo couldn't do that, but I think I like Stidham's, opportunity to do that more successful. I think that's what you're getting, your ups and downs with Bo Nix and Stidham. Obviously, maybe not the mobility there with Stidham, but he's definitely, I think, has a stronger arm, in my opinion, that can get that ball down the field to Marvin Mims if you would run like a 9 route straight down the field.
Yeah. And hang in the pocket, which Jody has talked about as well, man. That ability to hang in the pocket, stay in the pocket, get through progressions, I think that also suits Jarrett Stidham versus Bo Nix. Breakout player, Jody, and then I got to get back to the comments and talk about our fantastic sponsor as well.
I'm gonna go Evan Ingram. I think this is a game. Stidham, he's gonna hang in the pocket. He's gonna let these routes develop. I look for more stuff over the middle, and this is a game that I think Evan Ingram can, pick on their linebackers. They don't have a great cover linebacker, so I this is the game that I think that he can finally. If this is the only game that he steps up the whole year, awesome, because then it was well worth it for the whole season because he's done really little to nothing all year. So
I would love to see an Evan Ingram out there on social media giving us another Joker meme after the end of this game. That would be fantastic. Like you said, we haven't really had that opportunity for him to show off as being the Joker. The Joker is something that we could use in this game, and not just because we want Evan Ingram to show up in this game. Like you pointed out, like Trevor pointed out, the matchups that we have can be an Evan Ingram type of game, especially being a receiver that's maybe slotted as a tight end. Excuse me. I did need to talk real quick, though, guys, about our amazing sponsor. That's Pearl. She's out there. She's joining in. She's trying to get all her errands done right now. Probably trying to get everything all set up for another show, because Pearl is the owner of Morgan Trinkets. Morgan Trinkets is your headquarters for Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices. They've been doing it for over 35 years. They have a fantastic online presence through Etsy. Just type in Morgan Trinkets Co. That's Morgan Trinkets Co. over there on Etsy. Or you can type in Pearl Heat over there on eBay and see what Pearl Heater has to offer. If you can't do that, or if you want to meet up with her in person, I should say, don't worry, we got you taken care of. She's been doing shows all January, wrapped up with one on the 24th, wrapped up with one on the 27th, and now she's got one on the 31st. Have it. I thought I had it right. Yep, right here. Sorry. The Ultimate Garage Sale in Loveland, Colorado, out at the Loveland Fairgrounds. Check out Morgan Trinkets. Like I said, Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices, and an amazing sponsor of this podcast for way too long. Pearl, we appreciate you. Good luck on your errands, and hopefully you get a lot of people telling you all about how they found you here through the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast on the next show. My breakout player. I want to get to at least one breakout player. I'll hit the comments again. I see that Karen's coming in here and Ernie as well. But boy, breakout player for me. If I'm going to go back to RJ Harvey, Kenny. I think that you talked about that guy. I think you have the opportunity from that pass catching, that wheel route ability, that different piece that RJ Harvey brings. I'm still going to be eyeing him up because honestly, there was two other names I could have put into the mix. I could have put Adam Troutman and I could have put RJ Harvey into that mix when I was talking about the ability to pass protect for Mr. Jarrett Stidham back there. But RJ Harvey, I think, needs to have a good game, and I think could be set up for a great game. So I'm looking for RJ Harvey, man. I liked what Kenny was talking about, man. I think he is, like, again, not so much from the run game perspective, but I think what he brings to you in a pass game perspective, and if he can be out there, and I know he's been working hard on it all year, if he can be that guy that we can all of a sudden start depending upon in pass blocking, look out, because we need him not only in this run, but next year and beyond, man. So RJ Harvey, go out there, get it done. That's my guy.
I have a quick question. Do you guys think sneaky move Elijah Moore active over Michael Banny? Do you find that a sneaky move or?
Around the horn, I'll start with Kenny.
I'm going to say no, because when Elijah Moore is, like Trevor alluded, Stidham's got the bigger arm. Stidham practicing with him. You might see Elijah Moore get a handful of plays and maybe get one deep target. I mean, it comes to mind, it's like a Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I remember Patrick Mahomes, and don't want to bring Chiefs into this talk today, but he used to throw the ball deep to Valdez-Scantling like once a game. You might see that opportunity today. Elijah Moore get that chance to run that 9 route. And, I know Trevor called for Marvin Mims, but you may see Elijah Moore be the recipient of that play call.
I like it. Anything, Trevor, do you agree? Do you think it's more of an Elijah Moore, a Michael Bandy type of game? Do you utilize an Elijah Moore? Because let's face it, he can stretch the field more than a lot of Denver Broncos players can. I mean, Marvin Mims, I'll give you that, and Troy Franklin's out.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could definitely use him. I mean, I think it does play to the advantage of Jarrett Stidham having a big arm and be able to sling it down the field. So I do think he can play in a factor in this game. I still think, again, you're going to need, like Kenny said earlier, I want to give Kenny credit for this. And he made a great point. Little Jordan Humphrey, I think, is going to be a factor in this game as well. I think he's got to be with his size and what he can be able to do down the field. He's going to have to, be big and step up today as well with Troy Franklin being out. But I do think Elijah Moore, at least being involved, I do think there's something there for sure. I would still expect Marvin Mims to get the bulk of the carries or bulk of the snaps and be that guy that you look to downfield, because he proved it. He proved it against Buffalo. I mean, what he was able to do, he was stepped up big for this Broncos team and when they needed him. So I do think Elijah Moore could play some sort of factor in this game, and definitely I think plays into Jarrett Stidham's strength, which is throwing the football downfield and be able to sling it with his speed and with his size.
Been a lot of confidence in Broncos country. Been a lot of confidence around Jarrett Stidham, including Dan coming in here on the comments over on Facebook. Go Denver Broncos. STIDDY CITY will be rocking after Denver wins this game. The Denver Broncos will beat the New England Patriots today. Book it, baby. So, Dan, appreciate you coming in here. Appreciate the confidence. There's been a lot of confidence, like I said, around Jarrett Stidham. We've been talking a ton about the offense. I'm going to flip it over, man, to the defense, though, now. I'll start where I did when I started with the offense. I'm going to start with our good friend Kenny Kirkpatrick over here. Kenny, expectations now. Drake May has had an MVP season. He's thrown for over 4,000 yards, ran for over 500 yards. He's led this team to 14-3. He's got a couple of running backs back there, including a guy that we all were looking at in Travion Henderson at one point, who almost put up 1,000 yards on the ground. He has weapons. He's been able to get a lot done this season, obviously, when you're in the MVP candidate. Why do the Denver Broncos and this defense have a chance? Who are you watching on this Denver Broncos defense? Give me one player. We'll keep going around the horn.
Oh, my one player in this game, he has to step up because last week gave up 30 points. I haven't seen him step up much in the playoffs. That's Jonathan Cooper. They're going to block Benito. They're going to block, do what they can to keep Benito off of Drake May. Jody alluded to Will Campbell struggling. You got Jonathan Cooper on the other side. He needs to be the guy, take some weight off of Zach Allen, take some weight off of Benito, get to Drake May and be the defensive player of the game, and maybe get a forced fumble, a strip sack, a couple tackle for losses. Be the player of the game today. I'm waiting for it. I have not seen it in a few weeks from Jonathan Cooper. Today's the day.
Jonathan Cooper, man, it could be a big key piece. Like you said, Nick Benito has been getting a lot of attention, obviously, after last week and what he is able to do. A couple of strip sacks for, fumbles, and a couple of fumbles, one being a strip sack, one being fumbled, obviously, as Josh Allen was going down the field. Creating turnovers for this Denver Broncos team. He's got to be on the radar for the Patriots. Jonathan Cooper has been silent. We talked about, other players going silent for the last few weeks, like Cortland Sutton. Jonathan Cooper, I'm a big fan of him, but Agent Zero has been MIA at this point. So right now, to have a Jonathan Cooper sighting would be fantastic in this game. Good call out, especially against this offensive line of the New England Patriots. Maybe not the best piece of their entire team. I'll go over to Trevor. Trevor, got a piece for me on defense that you want to call out?
Well, it's got to be Nick Benito. He's got to have a much better game in this game. Just in general. I mean, I know last week he took on one of the best left tackles in the league, and Dion Dawkins. Pass block win rate. I mean, he has the highest pass block win rate in the NFL. So that's a very tough matchup for a guy like Nick Benito. But I think this matchup against Will Campbell, not going to be easy, of course, but I think it's a much easier matchup for Nick Benito to be involved. And I think if he needs to get in Drake May's face and he needs to be an impact, you need that. We always talk about that Von Miller type, right? That Von Miller type of edge rusher. That needs to be Nick Benito today. I mean, we've seen Von Miller, what he did in the past against Tom Brady and getting in his face alongside DeMarcus Ware. Nick Benito needs to be Von Miller today. He needs to get in Drake May's face, make him feel uncomfortable, win his matchups up front. If he don't win his matchups and he lets Drake May just do his thing all game long and it doesn't really get to him, it's going to be a long day, I think, for this Broncos secondary. So Nick Benito needs to be a huge factor in this game, and I expect him to step up big time in this game. Maybe even a strip sack at some point in time. So much easier matchup for him in this game. I like that for Nick Benito. And Kenny, good call out on Jonathan Cooper. I also want to say the Patriots, they love to run the football towards the right side, again, like Morgan Moses' side. And so Jonathan Cooper needs to do a much better job at contain, especially with running the football, and just make sure that he closes those gaps. So a guy like Travion Henderson or Stevenson, Ramondre Stevenson, don't get loose. So good call out there, Kenny, with Jonathan Cooper. But for me, Keith, it's going to be Nick Benito.
Nick Benito, Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Nick Benito, he had a pretty good game last week, again, causing a couple of turnovers in that game. Look for that to continue, but probably more than anything that I heard there is that consistent presence, being that guy that's always in Drake May's face, not just the big plays, but the constant presence that he needs to bring. I agree with you there, man. Get in there. It worked when we played Tom Brady and the Patriots. Like, that was the key, right? You had to get up there. You had to rattle him. If not, he's going to pick you apart. Take the same mentality. Jody, do you have a guy over on defense you're watching, or did your guy get stolen?
No, I'm just going to go this whole pass rushing in general. Get after May all game. I mean, you're bringing up Q Robinson. That's 5 pass rushers. Keep these guys fresh. Like we said last night, Will Campbell, he left last week with his head hung low. You listened to Boston radio this week. I mean, they said he was not happy with the way he played last week. Don't let him get his confidence back. He's a first-round pick for a reason. I mean, that whole left side's been struggling. So get after this O-line, get after Drake May, and make him prove that he can, do it. He hasn't really been forced to have to come from behind or lead game-winning drives or any of that. So make him show that he can do it by getting pressure all game.
I like it, man. Like you said, this defensive front will play key into how we just talked about on the other side of the ball. I think the New England Patriots will want to try to go out there and rattle Jarrett Stidham early and often. We need to be that same way with our front four and get after Drake May. Make sure that he's uncomfortable. Make sure that he doesn't get in a rhythm here as well. My good friend Carson coming in saying, sending good vibes, go Broncos. Our good friend David Slade as well. And by the way, thanks, Carson, coming over on Facebook. It's been nice to see you in here, my friend. He says, need to attack the Patriots' left side of the O-line. 2 rookies over there. So that's what he's looking at, how we attack the left side of the offensive line. Always a good call out. David Slade studies the film. Always appreciate his opinions. I'm going to go a different way. Paul's coming in here. By the way, I don't know if I've said Paul's name today. So, Paul, thank you for coming in over on YouTube. Said PS2 needs to show the world who the best cornerback is in the world. It is Mr. PS2 in his opinion. And I'm going to piggyback kind of off of that. For me, let's see if I can get all these comments off. For me, yeah, PS2 is that guy. He's going to do his thing. He's basically going to shut down one side of the field like he normally does almost every single game. But for me, the guy that I want to see, the guy I'm watching out here, is the guy on the other side of the ball and the guy that's been talked about a lot. At first, he was talked about all the penalties he was taking. Then he transitioned his game. He went in there. He get the boxing gloves on, whatever it happens to be, man. And let's face it, boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, he's been out there contesting catches, not pulling flags in, making good plays on the ball, and shoring up his side as needed. But the thing that Riley Moss was known for when he was drafted was he was a ball hawk. And I think it's time to take the next step for Riley Moss. I think it's time that Riley Moss just doesn't contest catches, doesn't take penalties, is that great number 2. I think this is a game where I think if you scheme this up right, if you're getting that pressure like everyone else, it seems like they've been talking about on the screen, at least as of lately, and you're getting that pressure, there's an opportunity for Riley Moss to really show off and take that next step. I'm watching what Riley Moss does in this game. I think he's on the cusp. He's on the precipice of becoming something a little bit different, and no better time than right now. Don't play outside yourself, play your game. But Riley Moss's game is creating turnovers. He did it all the time in Iowa. It's time for him to have that part.
Are you guys? I got a question for you guys. Are you guys
Yes.
concerned with this wide receiver room at all? I mean, if you look at the wide receiver room, I think it's far and away way worse than what the Broncos have. I mean, we talk about like being down Troy Franklin and all that, but like I know you have that Keyshawn Booty and some of those guys, but it's like other than Stephon Diggs, who else do you got? So are you guys concerned about that at all? I mean, I think that's where Denver has one of the biggest advantages in this game. Their secondary with this Patriots, these wide receivers that they have.
Just really quickly, and then I'll pass it right off to Jody. The utilization of Hunter Henry, I think, can't be overlooked. And then Jody, hopefully I didn't steal what you were going to talk about, but by all means, put your 2 cents in, my friend.
No, I was just going to add a sneaky guy coming back is Mac Hollins. I mean, he's kind of their little Jordan Humphreys. He gets out and blocks in the run game, and for the most part, he is pretty reliable catching the ball. And I think that's a big. Buffalo notices that as a big loss, in my opinion, losing him. So I think that's a sneaky move for the Patriots. But like Trevor said, there's no one over there that scares me. Not even really Hunter. I mean, not even Hunter Henry. Scheme it up where this is why Jahdae Barron was drafted in the first round. Put him on some tight ends and let him, step up. So, but again, this all comes back to getting pressure on Drake May. Make him make mistakes by getting pressure.
Yeah. I'll go ask Kenny same question.
Zero. I'm zero. Not scared at all with the wide receivers. Stephon Diggs, he's starting to decline in his career, in my opinion. Some off the field issues. That's another thing. And I'm being nice when I say he's around the 20th best wide receiver in the league. It's more like 25 to 30, in my opinion. You put PS2 on him the whole game. Keyshawn Boutte talking. Who's Keyshawn Boutte? I know Dave. I know who he is. Dave Slade, big LSU fan. But who is he? He's not scaring me. I do disagree with Jody on one thing. Hunter Henry scares me in this game. That's who you have to stop at all costs. The tight ends have been weak. We saw Dalton Kincaid last week go for almost 100 and a touchdown. Hunter Henry scares me. That's the guy that scares me in this game, not the wide receivers, Trevor. And it was a great question.
And now he gets one. I'm going to pass this run from David Slade right over to Trevor. Who do you put on Henry? Our linebackers struggle with the tight end position. Henry is his biggest concern as well. How do you cover him? Because Dalton Kincaid did have a pretty good day versus the Denver Broncos. Of course, you put up 30 points. Someone has to have a pretty good day, but Dalton Kincaid was part of that.
And that's the thing. I mean, I definitely understand, being concerned with Hunter Henry in the matchup, but I mean, Hunter Henry's not Dalton Kincaid either. I mean, he can put up numbers here and there, but he don't have the upside like a Dalton Kincaid has. I mean, it took the Buffalo Bills a long time to get Dalton Kincaid going. But once you get, the talent's there. Hunter Henry, I do think there's a concern, but I think my concern level is a little bit lower this week with him. I would say you start your linebackers on like Dre Greenlaw. I mean, this is why you bring a guy like Dre Greenlaw in, right? I mean, to be able to be that cover inside linebacker, you're paying him the big bucks to do that. But if not, maybe Hufanga. I think Hufanga could be a guy you throw, at Hunter Henry, and just with his big hit ability, maybe he jars the ball loose. He's not horrible in coverage against Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry doesn't have the speed like Dalton Kincaid has. I think Dalton Kincaid's a much faster tight end than Hunter Henry. I think Hunter Henry, what he just offers is that stability for Drake May. You're talking about taking, away Stephon Diggs with PS2. I would, let PS2 follow Stephon Diggs all day, take that away from Drake May. It's another weapon you don't have to worry about. But both Hunter Henry, he just offers that stability. I think you can start your linebackers, specifically Drake Greenlaw on him for the first snap. And if you need to adjust, this is where Vance Joseph's got to be on his game today. As well, Sean Payton, you have to be willing to adjust a lot sooner. You cannot adjust in the fourth quarter. If things aren't working at half, you have to be able to adjust. If not, I think you can throw Hufanga at Hunter Henry, and I think you have multiple, different guys, different players you can throw at Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry isn't my biggest concern, much more than like Dalton Kincaid was a week ago.
Karen says she's wearing the right jersey, so we're going to win. It's all about her. Of course, she's laughing all the way with that one. It's funny. We do have our superstitions, though, from time to time. And Patrick's coming in here and saying Talanoa Hufanga needs to be that strong presence like the Buffalo game. Showed some strong presence in there. He's been leveling the hits pretty hard. I expect him to be ready to go in this game. I don't know if Talanoa Hufanga is ready to go for a preseason game. I mean, I can't imagine what he's like for an AFC Championship game. We're all ready to go as well, man. We got to get some final thoughts in. We'll start wrapping this up, and then some final thoughts about just this game in general. I'm going to start with our good friend Kenny Kirkpatrick. We'll save the predictions for the very end. And I know, Kenny, you at least want to get one hot take in, it sounded like.
I'd like to get a hot take in because I'm going to call out all the other podcasts out there. I'm not trying to, I'm not putting anybody above or below anybody, but if I had to guess, and I'm not a math major, our hot takes are hitting at around 50%. And that is impressive. When you do bold predictions, hot takes, impressive because of A, hitting at that rate, and B, our hot takes are really hot. So I have one for everybody. And when I do a hot take, we hit a few weeks ago, we hit with Riley Moss getting that big interception in the fourth quarter. Jody hit one a couple weeks ago. My hot take for the AFC Championship game for your Denver Broncos, mentioned it earlier, little Jordan Humphrey is going to be a big key in this game. He is going to, A, lead all receivers and tight ends in receptions today, and B, he's going to have the most touchdowns out of any player on the Denver Broncos. I think it's going to be a big game. Stidham and I could see Stidham and him having a connection in practice throughout the year. I could see it turning into a big game for little Jordan Humphrey today. Let's go. Let's get that hot take. Go Broncos.
Love it, buddy. Love it. Little Jordan Humphrey hot take, man, for Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. And just an example of maybe how this game plays out as well. Trevor, I'm going to go to you, my friend. Final thoughts around this game as we head into an AFC Championship, our opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. Man, it's about like 45 minutes away. Give me your thoughts. Like I said, save the prediction. If you have a hot take, feel free.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was going to mention earlier about like the matchups I'm watching. It's Trevion Henderson in this game. I mean, I like most people know, I loved this running back in the draft and wanted the Broncos to do whatever they could to go up and get him, or trade back to get him, whatever. But he's their J.K. Dobbins, I think, on steroids. I mean, he just with his speed and what he can do in the passing game, he's well effective in the pass blocking as well. Helps that offensive line out. So that's the thing I'm watching in this game for this defense is we talk about Hunter Henry and Stephon Diggs, but I think Trevion Henderson, I mean, I've seen him break out in games before. I think he definitely has that, that in him, that upside in him to do so. And Denver struggled last week against James Cook. So you don't think that, the Patriots are going to look to, recreate that again with Trevion Henderson. I think they absolutely will. So that's a player that I'm watching this game really closely because I think they could get him involved in multiple ways, whether that's running the football to the right side and exposing guys like Jonathan Cooper, or is that's the passing game, those screen games, or just downfield in general, where he's really effective. So that's just something that I'm watching in this game that I haven't yet mentioned yet, Keith. And then a hot take. I mean, I think a hot take is Jarrett Stidham, right? I mean, this guy's getting paid $6 to $8 million a year. I mean, he's really, one of the highest paid backup quarterbacks in the league, and I think he's got to have a multi touchdown game today. I think he's got to go out there and prove that he can be that starting caliber quarterback in this league. I don't think he is a starting caliber quarterback in this league, but I don't think he's had this much of an opportunity as well. So Stidham looked really well in the preseason. Keith, I think we said this a year ago, week one, in Seattle, we were the two on here that were talking about Jarrett Stidham starting over Bo Nix. I mean, I think if Bo Nix is in a first round pick, I think there's a good chance Stidham might be your week one starter last season in Seattle. So Jarrett Stidham got to have a big game. I think you see a multi-touchdown game from Jarrett Stidham, and I think he opens some eyes for some other teams maybe around the league looking for a quarterback.
Big Stidham game. Multi-touchdown Stidham game. That'll be interesting how you end up going with your prediction here in just a moment. I'm gonna get Jody's thoughts around this game though as well, man. Final thoughts around this game, man, and a hot take if you got one.
Can I ask a quick question? Just a quick
Yeah,
yes or
go ahead,
no?
man.
Does everyone 30 or more passes from Jared Stidham?
I'll say yes.
Yeah.
Go with the over.
Over.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And 15 or less carries from your running backs.
Yeah.
Under?
Potentially.
I would say 12.
I'm under.
Yeah.
Under.
Yes, so we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
I think this game is won on both sides of the line of scrimmage. You have the best O-line in football. Lean on that, protect Jared Stidham, and he can make throws, and then get after the Patriots. Their O-line is weak on the left side, as we've noted. Get after them. Make Drake May prove that he can make big throws and stand in there and do it, because he hasn't had to do it all year. And get pressure on him. I expect multiple sacks in this game. That's where this game is going to be won, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think this defense is going to have to come up big in this game. I think you do have to rely a little bit more. That's just my thought process. I love Stiddy. I think that he has the ability. This game, in my opinion, is going to be a time of possession, field position type of game. I think it's going to come down to making sure that you're not making turnovers. I think it's going to come down to converting key third downs and key opportunities in order to, again, put enough together, put enough points on the board, and move on to the Super Bowl. It's going to be a cold game, as they're pointing out here in the chat. Even Patrick, he's shivering there in Hawaii at 70 degrees. So
and they said possible snow.
Yeah, right. Impossible snow. Not in Hawaii at 70 degrees, but
No.
they're in Denver, STIDDY CITY. So, again, this could very much slow down the game as it is, but we've seen it a few times from Sean Payton, and I do believe this is going to be a time of possession, a field where you're at on the field is going to be key in this game. So that's what I'm looking for. Now I got to get to some predictions before we get out of here, right up against almost the clock. By the way, everyone, I had the comment just a moment ago, all queued up to go. Mr. David Slade was wondering if he should wear his Bo Nix jersey that he's been wearing since Philadelphia Eagles game, since we went basically on a tear, or should he change that out and put on his PS2 jersey for the first time? If you want to weigh in on that, Posse, feel free as well.
Ride or die with Bo Nix.
Yeah, I'd ride with Nix.
I'm going to say this. I did say that in the chat, but if it's not working, Dave, and you need defense in the second half, switch to the PS2 for the second half. But start with Nix for sure. Get Nix into Stidham, get some plays going, and maybe roll with it the whole game, Dave. But if you need some defense in the second half, switch it up.
Kenny's asking for some halftime adjustments to the wardrobe.
That's it. It's always about the halftime adjustments.
Be willing to make adjustments. Exactly.
Karen's coming in with her prediction, saying the Broncos are going to win 27-21. Ernie May is just saying the Broncos are going to win by 8 points. STIDDY CITY right there, man. So predictions as we get more filtering in, I'll throw them up there on the screen, but I'll start off with you, Kenny.
Listen, I'm Karen, and I'm close to your prediction. We've watched this Bronco team all year long, including last week. Nail biters in the fourth. Keith was like, "Man, you give me another nail biter." Well, guess what? Here comes another nail biter. It's going to be a high scoring nail biter again. We just said 30 or more pass attempts from Stidham. I think you're going to see very similar to Drake May, because I think Vance Joseph is going to stop the run today. That's going to be the number one key. And then, let them beat you in the air. I do think you're going to see some scoring here. A fourth quarter comeback by the Broncos, chat. A fourth quarter getting Stiddy with it comeback. 27-25, going weird score. I like doing those weird scores. 27-25. Your Broncos are going to the Super Bowl. Let's go Broncos country. And put in the chat Stiddy if you want to get Stiddy with it. I want to see the Stiddies in the chat. Getting Stiddy with it. Let's go.
Let's get Stiddy with it, man. Let's rock all the way to the AFC Championship. Hopefully, that's the prediction from Mr. Trevor Salzman as well, man. Level-headed Mr. Salzman, even though we call him the Rocket Man. What is your prediction for this AFC Championship, Trevor Salzman?
Ooh, I think this is going to be a close game. I really do. But I will say this, and something I haven't mentioned yet, the show, but Drake May, and I know Jody's mentioned a little bit, I should say, but Drake May hasn't had to go on the road and be in this kind of environment. And that's where I think home field advantage is so key. We've seen it with Josh Allen. He couldn't hear. He was literally, they had to call timeout because he couldn't hear. The home crowd is so important in this game. And home field advantage is so important. Playing at Mile High Stadium and Power Field, there's nothing else like it. The environment, it's amazing. So just having that home crowd, you don't think that stadium's gonna be loud and pounding and rattling. Drake May, this guy's a second-year quarterback. Josh Allen's a veteran, a well-oiled veteran in this league, and he couldn't hear. You didn't think Drake May is gonna be able to hear all game long? So home field advantage is so so important, and so Drake May hasn't had to do that this postseason run so far. They've had home field advantage themselves, so now they're having to adjust going on the road, playing here at Empire Field against his defense with this home crowd. I think there's a lot of advantages Denver's way. I'm going to go 28-27. I think Denver Bronco victory. They think they eke it out in this game. It's a nail biter. I think that the crowd gets to Drake May. I think they have to call a timeout at some point in time in this game. Also, make it a little bit more sweeter. Please beat Josh McDaniels in this game. He's their OC. We all know how many, people like Josh McDaniels, around the Mile High City. So make it even better. Get a win. Beat Josh McDaniels. Beat the Patriots. Go to the Super Bowl. I think the Broncos eke it out. I think Jarrett Stidham does enough in this game. This Broncos defense has to step up today. Vance Joseph, if you want a head coaching job, this is the kind of game that you've got to step up and put your best foot forward, your game plan. Enough with the head coaching interviews right now. Put those on hold. This has got to be the game where you have your defense schemed up to stop Drake May in this offense and take advantage of home field advantage and go to the Super Bowl for the first time in a long time. So Denver Broncos victory, 28-27, nail biter. But Broncos country, be excited. You have all the advantage in this game, in my opinion.
Hey, Keith, real fast.
Yes.
Between Trevor and I, and I'm sure Jody and yourself, everybody's suffering with winter, the cold weather. We found the cure. Just have these nail biters, because I'm sweating already from mine and Trevor's prediction with the predictions we have. It's getting hot in here. Let's go.
It is, man. Sweating to the very, very end, man. No time for the cold. I'll hit a few more predictions. Jody, I'm going to save yours and your thoughts around it for just a second. David Slade comes in. His is 23-19. Rising on Films. I don't know if this is a 19-19 in regular, but a 19-21 victory for the Broncos in overtime. Maybe that's what I'm reading, but 19-21 nonetheless. Patrick Wiltsey's coming in with a 27-20 victory. Some pretty good scoring games here. Some pretty good scoring games, not to be left out. The Denver Broncos are winning 30-20 over the New England Patriots as far as he's concerned. Jody, let me get your thoughts, the prediction. Oh, yeah. Yelling would keep them warm during warm along with some Lion coffee. Shameless plug. That's absolutely right. Right over the back of my shoulder, got my fantastic Lion coffee. That's the only thing that's been in my cup, regardless of what the comments have been saying earlier. Maybe I'm just a little bit too excited for this game and ready for a Denver Broncos victory. But I digress, Jody. I got to get your prediction. I got to get your thoughts about how you think this game will play out as far as the scoreboard is concerned.
Just like I said earlier, Denver dominates both sides of the line of scrimmage. I have the score 27-17. It's 2017 late. Patriots are driving. And I see a sack fumble, and we run it in for a touchdown, and that's how we clinch this game. Defense has brought us here all year, and they seal it and send us to the Super Bowl. And if we can get one of those,
back with your prediction, there's no sweating with that one.
And if we can get one of those, I don't care if he gets fined or not, but one of those Nick Bonitos when he's spun and did the whatchamacallit and
backwards dive into the end zone.
Backwards dive into the end zone. That's what I want to see. So
he's fired up, and he wants his team to be fired up. And based on his prediction, we would be fired up in our post-game podcast we'll be having regardless. So far, predictions with the Denver Broncos winning, I wouldn't expect it any other way. Peter Johnson says, enjoy the game, boys. No prediction from me. Keeping the fingers crossed and the toes crossed and hoping we can pull off another mile-high miracle. Score early should be the move. Like quick on the first few plays, put a shadow of doubt in their opponent. A fantastic way to start off a game, Karen. I would love for that to happen. A long return would be great, she says as well in the comments. Guys, I realized as I went around the horn to everybody, there was one thing that I had missed for myself. So I'm going to double that up with my prediction. That was my hot take. My hot take. The New England Patriots don't get into the Denver Broncos or into the red zone until the second half of this game. They might settle for field goals, but they're not living inside the 20 at any time in the first half. I think this Denver Broncos defense is going to come out here. They are going to help carry this team. I think it's going to be a cold weather game. I think it's going to be crazy loud, as Trevor was talking about, and they're going to be disrupting Drake May, but I don't have expectations of Jarrett Stidham putting up crazy points. I think this is a defensive game. I think it's a time of possession game. I think it's a field position game, and I think it's a victory for the Denver Broncos that way. 13-17, Denver Broncos come out on top. That's my prediction. Low-scoring games. I said there's a lot of predictions for high-scoring games. I'll be the voice of levity here, man. I'll go a 17-13 Denver Broncos victory, regardless of how this game plays out. Whether we win by a lot, whether we win by a little, whether it's high-scoring or low-scoring, we're going to be back here, gentlemen. Everyone's going to be back for a fantastic post-game podcast. Can't wait to have you all with us for that ride. Any final thoughts before I get out of here? I'll go real quick. Trevor, Jody, Kenny, that in that order. What do you got for me, friend?
Enjoy the game, everybody. Oh, Trevor first. Sorry.
No,
Trevor, Jody, Kenny.
No, Broncos country, enjoy this one. This is for you. And I mean, Sean Payton had just said, I had seen something. He told Cameron Wolf, a reporter, we are going to win this game. That's a lot of confidence from your head coach. I think everybody should have a lot of confidence today. Get this W, however it happens, but a win is a win in the playoffs, however you can do it. So go Broncos, and we'll be back here either way.
Yeah,
enjoy the game.
Yep. Post game, we'll be back. All right. Any finals, Jody?
Don't miss the coin toss because John always doing the coin toss. I think it's going to be as loud as you can imagine. So,
yeah.
No way. And Champ Bailey, both on. I just seen Champ Bailey's there, Elway's there. It's going to be loud, boys.
Boy. It's usually from the moment of the kickoff. It's going to be from the moment of the coin flip. It's going to be crazy at Mile High, STIDDY CITY. Kenny, now it's your turn, my friend.
I'm not going to make anybody's ears bleed by singing, but I'm just going to say these simple words. Getting stiddy with it.
All right, man. He's going to get stiddy with it. It's time for this city to get stiddy with it. It's time for us to roll on out of here. But like I said, don't miss out. Be right back here for the post-game show. Can't wait to rock with you. Posse, thank you so much. Multiple comments, lots of interactions, good friends from long time ago to just coming on for the first time. We appreciate y'all, all the likes, the shares, the subscribe. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We appreciate you going for this ride with us. Let's do it right after the game. Let's have a good game, everybody. We'll get out of here the way we always do. Boots in the stirrups, guns in the holsters. Denver Broncos in your heart. Till after the game, we're out of here. Mile High salute.